Hello, welcome to Vijnan Saraswati, and today we'll see one important topic in dielectrics: internal field induced in dielectric slab. So this is the topic today we are going to discuss. This internal field we can call local field also. So whenever you place a dielectric material inside the uniform electric field, then that uniform electric field induces or produces some electric field inside the dielectric slab. So what is the local field and their calculations, everything depends on the symmetry of the lattice, whatever we take, and the shape, how it is. So depending on these many factors, and also thickness of the dielectric slab that we have taken, on that also this polarization or induction of electric field depends. So here one important thing is, when something that takes place inside is microscopic phenomena, and when something we are applying externally, it is a macroscopic phenomena. When you when you study this electric field effects on dielectric materials. Okay, so whatever the field that we are applying, that is the electric field produced due to external charges, that is external field, and due to that some polarization is occurred in the slab. For example, let us take a thin slab, thin dielectric slab, thin dielectric slab I am taking. So, and it is placed in an external electric field. Say for the external electric field, you can take a parallel plate capacitor. So between, that is due to external charge density, some uniform electric field will be produced between the plates of the capacitor. This is the applied field of the, this is field that we applied. Okay, this is the direction. So here what it does, what this E bar does is that produces some polarization inside the dielectric slab. So that actually, that polarization, what it is, a that polarization produces a depolarizing field inside the material. That means what? This depolarizing field opposes applied field direction. This is the depolarizing field. Say you are applying E naught electric field. E naught is the external electric field that is applied over there. Applied external uniform field polarizes the material. Due to that polarization inside the material, depolarizing field, that is negative field, is induced. So that negative field tries to oppose applied external field. Okay, so two fields are there. One is applied external field, another one is depolarizing field. Due to these fields, a macroscopic field is present inside the material, inside the dielectric slab, that is local field. Okay, that way I have to solve that problem. We have to derive equation for that internal field or local field. Clear? So here one important thing is, we have taken thin slab and our intention is to measure a field somewhere here at O, and for that Lorentz gave a method. So it is called Lorentz method, and he has taken a spherical cavity around it, right? Say radius R, spherical cavity, and here all the dipoles are aligned in this direction. If you take, so this part will be, half of the part will be negative, remaining half of the part will be positive. So this method is discussed by Lorentz, so it is called Lorentz method. By Lorentz method we solve the problem. So to understand this clearly, let us divide the electric field intensity at O in 4 ways to solve this problem easily. One thing is, the first electric field that we applied over there, the external electric field. So E naught is the external uniform electric field, right? Second one is E1. E1 is depolarizing field, depolarizing electric field, that is due to the charge density or due to the polarization that is induced in the slab. So we are dividing it, that is the electric field at O due to E naught, due to E1, in that manner we are dividing. Third one, this spherical cavity you see, on the surface of this spherical cavity also polarization is there, or density of charges are present. Okay, charge density is present. So that is, say, E2. E2 is the electric field due to charge density on surface of imaginary spherical cavity. Okay. Last one, the fourth one is, guess it? Exactly. The atoms are present in the cavity, because cavity is imaginary thing. The atoms are dipoles, atoms act as dipoles. Due to that dipoles, also electric field is present at O. We prove it as 0 afterwards. Anyway, E4 is the, or I can call it as E dipole. So the electric field at O due to dipoles present in the cavity, that is E4. So let us see all these 4 things. If you know the information about all these 4 things, then the internal field is just sum of all these 4 fields. Now E internal or E local is E naught plus E1 plus E2 plus E3, right? Right. This is the internal electric field or local electric field at a site O. See, another important point here, if you consider in general, this E naught E1 combinedly creates a hole in the material. Okay. And another important polarization we use, polarization thing, and the polarization, the charge per unit area we can take. We can think of what is polarization is charge per unit area. Mathematically you can take. Anyway, let us calculate all these 4. Anyway, E naught is applied external field. We know that information, E naught. And E1 is depolarizing field. So first we'll calculate E1 and E3. Afterwards we'll go to E2. Right. So first one, E1. What is E1? Depolarizing field. That is electric field at O due to this depolarizing field inside the slab. So the E1 depends on the type of, shape of the material. So E1 we can write as E1 equal to minus NP by epsilon naught. So using this formula we get E1, and N is depolarizing factor. Depolarizing factor, right? Generally, n will have different values depending on the thickness of the slab or shape, something like. Okay, so n is 1 for thin dielectric slab. So what is the value for E1 now? Minus P by epsilon naught. If we give equation numbers, let us give to this 1 and this is 2, and so this is E1 minus P by epsilon naught. The E1 is depolarizing field and E0 is the applied electric field. So combinedly this E0 and E1 produces a macroscopic electric field inside the specimen, inside the dielectric slab. Okay, so let me write that. Therefore, the macroscopic electric field due to E1 and E0 is, let us take it as E. So E is equal to how much? E0 plus E1. Even though if you take, so the macroscopic field is E equal to E0 plus E1, right? So if you substitute this value, then E becomes E0 minus P by epsilon naught, equation 3, remember it. Clear? Now we got E0. Of course, E0 E1 combination we got E. So remaining is E2 and E3. Let us see first E3, then we'll go to E2. So in E2 case, in E3 case, that is the electric field at O due to these dipoles, because it is symmetrical and it is spherical, then the electric field due to dipole at center, due to dipoles at center, because all the dipoles are equally spaced. Okay, so anyway, if irrespective of that, if dipoles are present around a particular site, the reference site O, then the formula for E dipole, see here I am writing E dipole, and that is E3 itself, is equal to P by some magnitude, P by epsilon naught. Say the electric field is in the x direction, then sigma 2xi square minus zi square minus, okay, you can write yi square minus zi square divided by ri power 5 is the equation to calculate electric field due to dipoles at a given reference point, that is at O. Okay, so this summation I varies depending on its position, but because it is taken spherical and symmetrical lattice, since cavity, imaginary cavity is spherical, and also due to symmetry of the lattice, the summation of this xi square by r power 5 is equal to, because they are the along x-axis, y-axis, z-axis you take, because it is a sphere, the distances are same. Yi square by r power 5, this is equal to zi square by r power 5. So finally, if you substitute those values, you will get E dipole, how much? Exactly 0. So electric field due to dipoles inside the cavity is 0. So we got what is what happens due to E0 plus E1, that is due to two fields. One is applied field, one is depolarizing field. How much? What is the thing we get is we got E, that is macroscopic field. Okay, and what is the dipole at O due to dipoles present in the cavity? That is called 0. Only thing remaining is the imaginary cavity. Okay, in the imaginary, on the surface of the imaginary cavity, there are polarizer charges or charge density. Then we'll see that what happens. For that, we take little enlarged cavity diagram. We'll see some basic mathematics, basic calculations. Then we'll discuss it. So this is the reference point. Let us take let us take 2 points, some small strip, because you can imagine three-dimensional view. One element on the sphere, that surface, cavity surface. So this part we are taking. Okay, so we have taken this Mn, this small Mn strip that makes theta with horizontal axis, and it has some angle d theta, and the radius of the cavity is capital R. Okay, right. So here imagine we are take this Mn apart, has some surface area dA, and just rotate about z axis. Just we are taking a small circular slice. Imagine a spherical watermelon, and on that surface you pick small piece and just rotate about horizontal axis. So then you may get like a strip like this, and this is M, this is N, and here in this way you can rotate it. So because the cavity is whatever the cavity we are taking is smaller size, then the radius of that spherical shell, whatever the spherical shell here we get when you just rotate it, this spherical shell, and this is the, it becomes radius Nn dash. Of course this point also mm dash also may become radius, but because to make our calculations little easier, we take Nn dash as the radius. See, the here this we are taking because whatever the cavity we take is very small in size, so much difference will not be there. So this is taken as center of that spherical shell, whatever we get, like this, right? So here dA is the surface area. Let us take whatever the strip we take, that is dA is the surface area. Let us write equation for dA. Surface area dA is equal to 2 pi radius. What is the radius? Nn dash into thickness Mn. Okay, so 2 pi Nn dash is what? Take the triangle ON dash theta opposite by hypotenuse. We need opposite side, opposite by hypotenuse, that is R sin theta. Mn dash, Mn is this value, or d theta. So finally we get 2 pi r square sin theta d theta. This is surface area dA, equation 5. Okay. So now we'll see what is the charge that is present on this surface area or on this small strip. the charge present, say dq dash, whatever the charge that is present on the surface area is dq dash. Let us draw the normal to this, normal to that small strip, and the polarization along the direction, along the normal drawn is p cos theta. Actually minus p cos theta, okay, right. And if polarization is minus p cos theta, what is the charge value? Polarization is charge per unit area, therefore charge is dq dash is equal to polarization into area. So let us substitute here, then you will get dq dash is equal to minus 2 pi p r square sin theta cos theta d theta. Because the polarization, this is the p bar, polarization p bar, it makes theta minus p cos theta. Why minus is taken is the depolarizing field is in this direction, because we are calculating the field at O due to charge density on the cavity. The direction is, the electric field direction is in negative x-axis, but we are trying to calculate along this direction, that is applied field direction. So I have taken minus p cos theta, right. Generally polarization, the dipole moment if you take, it is, that is polarization is opposite to the applied electric field anyway. So I think it is clear to you, dq dash is equal to minus 2 pi p r square sin theta cos theta d theta. We got charge on the strip, this strip, circular strip. Due to that strip, electric field is present at O. Okay, that we'll see now. So the charge on the circular strip is dq dash. Due to this dq dash, at O there will be electric field due to this dq dash. Sorry, I write it as d dash 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught dq dash by r square. So this electric field is also directed in the direction of the normal drawn at that small strip, but we need electric field in this direction. So whatever dE 3 we are calculating, dE 2 we are calculating is equal to dE dash cos theta, because it is directed in this direction, normal drawn. So we need along horizontal direction, that is applied field direction, that is dE2 is dE dash cos theta. Therefore the field due to this small strip, whatever the small strip we have taken, the field due to charge density present on this small strip is at the center in the applied field direction is dE2 is equal to dE dash cos theta. Okay, so let us substitute that value. dE dash is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught by r square. We'll write afterwards. dq dash is 2 pi p r square sin theta cos theta 2 pi p r square sin theta cos theta divided by r square into cos theta, so cos square theta. See here, another important thing we have to consider is whatever the charge, whatever the electric field at O we are calculating due to this charge density on the cavity. It is in negative x-axis direction. Okay, but we are taking in the field applied field direction. So this you have to take minus, right? Here it is not required. This is minus because the field at O is in the negative x-axis direction. That is depolarizing field direction. That's what we are calculating, du2. But here our intention is the field we are calculating in the applied field direction. So when you consider it, you have to take minus. This value will be minus. Okay. Anyway, here dq dash also minus, and when you substitute over here in this formula, it becomes plus. Any calculations you can do here, just you can cancel anything, you can cancel pi 2 and r square. So p by 2 epsilon naught, r square get cancelled. What is the remaining? Sin theta cos square theta. Just check once. 2 pi, 2 remaining, 2 epsilon naught, r square, p by, okay. So dE2 is p by 2 epsilon naught, sin theta cos square theta. This is the dE2 we got. So we need therefore the electric field at O due to charge density on the spherical cavity. Due to complete spherical cavity at O, just integrate this equation, integrating value. Then what are the integration, what are the limits here? See the any one type of charge that is distributed on the cavity, the range of distribution, any one type of the charge, whether you take positive or negative. So half of this, that is half of this sphere. Simple thing, 0 to 180, 0 to pi, 0 to 180, right? D theta. So somewhere we missed it here. dA, substitute somewhere, we substituted dA, d theta, dq, pr square sin square d theta as we got here, d theta. Good. So finally E2 you will get, if you integrate that equation, p by 2 epsilon naught into, you will get 2 by 3. This is p by 3 epsilon naught, you will get E2 value. When you calculate this, you can do that mathematics. So E2 is p by 3 epsilon naught. Now, therefore, total electric field, let us write value, final value. Therefore, the local electric field or internal electric field is sum of E0 plus E1. What is E0 plus E1? Just E. This is what macroscopic electric field. In the terms we derive the equation. And E0 plus E1 plus E2, this is E2 plus E3. E3 we got E dipole. E3 is 0. Only remaining is plus P by 3 epsilon naught. So this is the local field or internal field that is induced due to applying the field. And remember, this is macroscopic field and the field due to applied electric field and depolarization field. So here we should understand the internal field is not just sum of those two, there is additional effect also, that is P by 3 epsilon naught. Okay, the medium effect also is there. Epsilon naught is permittivity of the free space and P is the polarization taken inside the material. This is the internal field equation. If you have any doubts, you can write in comment section. Those questions will be, I will try to answer it, and we'll meet with another video and next thing.